I'm going to move on to our next topic, which we promised we were going to cover, and that is to help people decide whether to buy a GTX 1080, which obviously buy one, or should you buy a GTX 1070. Brad is the man with all the information on the 1070, but we are, of course, in that weird space where Brad cannot talk about everything he knows about the 1070, but hopefully we're only going to talk about public things that will not have Jensen come down here and smash our heads.
So you didn't get in trouble after last week's discussion, Brad?
I didn't. I'm not sure if they watched it, but I didn't.
Good. Great. So we have another round to try to, push some stuff out of you.
So, NVIDIA actually released a bunch of new information over the past week about the GTX 1070. We were actually the first site to confirm it, where they released how many CUDA cores, the base clock, so on and so forth about the GTX 1070. And it's basically like 3/4 of a GTX 1080 inside.
Does it look like the ratio that we got out of the 970 to 980?
The 970 was a little beefier in comparison to the 980. Like that was when you broke down all the numbers and stuff. It was like slightly over 80% of GTX 980. This one's 75ish.
Oh, that's pretty close though. And then RAM, same or less?
RAM for the GTX 1080, it has the cutting edge new GDDR5X. The 1070, which is going to be $380, much more mainstream price point than the $600 for the GTX 1080. Has traditional GDDR5 RAM, but it has 8 gigabytes, so more than enough.
Oh, I didn't realize. I wasn't paying too close to the attention. I didn't realize it was GDDR5, so instead of GDDR5X. What does that lose as far as memory bandwidth go on paper?
I mean, it's a little bit faster. I mean, the GTX 1080's memory is clocked a little bit faster.
Right.
But I haven't seen it in action yet, so I don't know. in practicality.
That he can talk about. Do you? So, because I know, we all, if we rewind the clock back to the 980, 970, right? Because I remember it was like, wow, 980's awesome. And it was like, 970 is so close. Why the hell would I pay the extra, $300? Remember, it was like $200 more for the 980 over a 970.
Yeah.
Right? So people everybody's like, this is crazy. It seemed like the 970 killed the sales of the 980 to me from like what I'd want anyway, from actually spending my own money. On specs, not based on performance, is 1070 going to do the same thing to the 1080, you think?
It very well might, because the difference between $380 for a 1070 or $450 for the Founders Edition and the $600 for a 1080, that's a lot of money, man. That's a serious upgrade. And if you look at the GTX 1080, it's about 30% or so faster than a Titan X. And they've said that NVIDIA has said that this will be roughly on par with the Titan X. And looking at the way the numbers break down, it seems accurate. So, I mean, Titan X performance for $380, that's a hell of a deal.
God.
But that's assuming you can get one at $380 right away. Yeah. Otherwise, you have to wait for a while before it comes down from that Founder Edition's price.
Yeah, that's the debate. We don't know what we're going to see yet because they've announced all these things. They've already put out the reviews for the GTX 1080, but the first GTX 1080 isn't even supposed to ship for 3 more days on the 27th. And these aren't hitting the streets, these being the GTX 1070, until June 10th. So who knows what we're actually going to see on those dates. There's already been plenty of leaks. If you go to those shady sites on the internet that are for enthusiasts that have third-party vendor cards, though. So I have a suspicion that we'll see all variety of price points when all these things happen.
What's that clicking? Oh, never mind. We heard some.
I think Brad was tapping. He was being a drummer.
I was thinking there were zombies trying to break in the door. That would just suck. You'd be like,
yeah, it was
recording.
me.
You open the door, and then suddenly the room would be full of zombies. That would just be.
Whoops.
You would just be stuck in the video recording room all day.
We have a vent. We were good.
Yeah.
No, but then you'd have to oh my God, we need to get help. You'd have to put out a call. Somebody watching this video, please call the anti-zombie squad. So
that's when you need one of those order of 10 triangles, man. Those things are deadly. The things they used to promote the GTX 1080.
Oh, is that what? Right. That was a lot of math, it looked like, to figure out that puzzle. For people who don't know, NVIDIA sent everyone these big metal triangles to sort of like hype 1080. And
Yeah.
you had
Very
to use
Illuminati.
lots of math to figure out what the answer was. And what was the prize? I was thinking, a prize is you get a 1080, but no, it was like you get to go to the event, I think, right?
Yeah, that day you got to go to the event, and they've been doing daily puzzles since then, and people are going to win various things.
Oh, wow. All off that. Oh, okay, man, that's
You
like,
missed out, Gordon. You missed
well,
out.
no, I looked at it, it's like, well, so there's two kinds of people in the world, right? There's Jeopardy people. You watch Jeopardy, it's like, that name of the river in Africa, that's shortest. I don't know. I don't know the longest, land mass along this part of that continent. I don't know that. So you can be Jeopardy person, or you could be Wheel of Fortune person. I'm a Wheel of Fortune person, right? Like, can I buy a letter A? Whatever. Okay, go spin the letter. That's easy. That's why I like, you watch Jeopardy, so like, wow, I really don't know anything.
And now you look back on your life and you realize if only you'd watched Jeopardy when you were a kid, you could have won a GTX 1080.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
Dang.
I think it'd have like an NVIDIA like show where you or a hardware show where you give away hardware, but you got to solve the puzzle. But I guess they couldn't do the Wheel of Fortune style because they'd give away too much hardware then, right? How about the
probably.
Price is Right? You could play the Price is Right for hardware.
There you go.
How much is this Founders Edition GTX 1080? So if you're going out, sorry, Brad, I'm going to make us go back on topic, even though I'm the one driving the train off the tracks. I'm going to try to get the train back on the tracks. GTX 1070 versus GTX 1080. If I'm building a new rig, I play at say 1080p. What should I buy?
If performance for the GTX 1070 is indeed Titan X style performance, like NVIDIA says, I wouldn't even buy that for a 1080 rig. Unless you're looking to get 1080 for 144 megahertz for like crazy online shooty games.
Right.
For 1080p 60, I mean, I think even this might be kind of overkill.
So it might actually be better to even buy something cheaper.
Like
Are
a
970
970
still around? Are they?
Yeah. I mean, I just
Yeah.
bought one. Yeah.
Yeah.
For my rig.
They're delisted
Oh, we were
now,
talking a
but
couple
they're
weeks
around.
ago that 970 will never hit $200. There was one on sale the other day for $225.
Wow.
That is
Getting
tough.
close.
Where?
I forget. Micro Center, Newegg. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
because she's
like
like,
that.
"Can I use your computer and buy it right now?"
No, I wouldn't get a 970 right now.
But I mean,
I
$200.
wouldn't buy anything right now.
Yeah. Oh, true.
I guess we have to wait for 1070 performance, but like, boy, that makes it tough though. You're looking at $200 for a 970 versus. Then you could sell that kid that video card. All right, kid, you could $200. You can
take it
take
back
this
to last week.
970 and take this i5 Skylake part. Okay, that's like you're looking at 1070 no CPU versus 970 and basically 80% of the i5 Skylake part. That's man, that ain't nothing to like. Then you don't feel bad, just
Well, that's only if you are planning to play at 1080p, though.
right. But I mean, 80. I don't know what it is these days.
Yeah,
70% these days, 75%.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that's
Not
just
counting
under that
console players.
assumption. Whatever. I'm actually thinking of upgrading to 1070, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because I've been playing at 1080 for a while because I'm too cheap, honestly, lazy, one of the two. I'm a slick dealer. I love bargains, so it's just really hard for me to
See,
spend
that's
that
why
cash
she went to
once.
run out and buy that.
Yeah, I know.
She's going to buy 10 of them and then resell them on eBay.
In for two. But I was actually thinking of going up to 1440.
Oh, okay.
See, I think that's a great idea. Like when I first reviewed the Titan X last year, various people who sell Titan X's and Fury X's were giving me crap because they're all peddling it as a 4K card, and I'm like, you could get it on 4K, but what these really are like the ultimate 1440p card.
Yeah.
And if the GTX 1070 manages to equate with a Titan X, then that's really what it is. It's like the ultimate 1440p card. And again, who knows until we see the performance, but just based on what they're saying out loud.
Right. And you don't mean 1440 with G-Sync. You mean 1440 hitting 60
Yeah,
frames
period.
a second.
Like,
Period.
yeah.
Or higher, I suppose, even if you're doing a high frame rate.
You should still get G-Sync because G-Sync and FreeSync are amazing and they'll change your gaming life. But
Really?
yes. Yeah, man, I'm never going back. After using a G-Sync monitor for so long, I put a Titan X inside of another rig and started playing Star Wars Battlefront, which gets pretty, decent frame rates.
Right.
And even that little bit of tearing and stuttering was just driving me crazy.
Wow.
What monitor are you using?
The Acer something a 4K
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
G-Sync.
a 4K TN panel. I'm
Wow.
not sure what-
This is, it'd be great to dive into this. We should dive into this
other
some other
corner.
time.
The
Oh, wait.
Acer XB280HK.
Brad pointed and I looked over as though he was sitting in the room.
Oh, that's realism right there.
Yeah, or it just shows you like the power of the force or something like that. You're like, not the George you want. It works. Damn. Now we're on to G-Sync, a G-Sync discussion. But for 1440, 1070, but 1080p, it sounds like you almost want to wait for. If we're talking NVIDIA parts, it sounds like you want to wait for another part. I mean, everybody sort of guesses
Yeah,
there'll be a
1060.
1050 or 1060. So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, my gut reaction looking at what they're saying. To me, a Titan X class performance is too much for 1080p. You're spending too much money. I'm all about, maximizing your dollar. And then that's the case, if 75% of people still game on 1080p monitors, maybe everyone's saying AMD's looking for mainstream parts to kick it off. Maybe that's the smart idea. If you start thinking about it that way.
And so where does this leave the 1080? So for 4K would be because it really seems like a real 4K card.
Yeah. I mean, you won't hit 60 frames per second in every game still with the 1080, but you will come awfully close in pretty much all of them, especially if you bump back down to high from Ultra.
So it seems like so we're saying 1080 if you're playing at 4K res and 1440, standard 27-inch panel if you're for 1070, and then for anything lower, get that $200
Wait and see.
970 or wait and see, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't buy
Although
anything
Elena
right
would
now.
not
I'd wait
buy
and
it.
see.
You know why she's saying that? She's saying, I wouldn't buy it. Even for 200, if we're 180, I wouldn't buy it. Don't buy it because she's going to, 10 of them, resell for $200. Then it'll pay
I
for
mean,
it.
GTX 1080 could be good like we were saying earlier, if you're looking to drive 144 frames per second and, Call of Duty or whatever, you even at 1440p, you'd probably want a 1080. But for 60 frames a second, 1440, assuming that the GTX 1070 is indeed on par with the Titan X, that seems like the sweet spot for that.
Okay. And then, of course, AMD, so we don't get the AMD hate mail. Nothing. Is there anything new, I guess, with AMD happening in this space, I guess?
Yes, early next month, the first week of June, is Computex, which for people who don't know is like a big trade show that happens in Taiwan, where CES is all like people looking forward way far in the future and stuff like that. Here's stuff we hope to roll out over the year. The stuff you see at Computex is like, here's what's coming this year for the holiday season. Get ready, folks. And AMD's holding a seminar on 10 o'clock at night Eastern U.S. time on May 31st to update people about their new APUs as well as Polaris graphics, which is their new generation of Radeon cards. So hopefully we'll know something there sooner than later.
Right. So a lot of people should just kind of wait, see what happens, at least
Yeah.
a few weeks.
Don't buy anything right now. Anybody. No, just wait. Do with what you have for 2 weeks and then
man.
figure it out from there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't know. We really don't know what they're going to talk about, right? So
No idea. I mean, there's tons of hints that say they're going, like I said, for the mainstream option, the more affordable price points. And if that's the case, they'll be taking it from a different angle than NVIDIA, but we don't know.
Okay. I'm going to move us on because we're going to run out of time and somebody's going to actually kick down the door and kick us out of the room.